All right, we are recording for in-home parties, and I've got my little man here, Kenyon. He's 4.5. He loves basketball. He loves cars and trucks, and he might be showing his face throughout this evening. So I think he'll be pretty quiet though. But I want to talk to you about doing in-home parties because, you know, we can all do an in-home party. We can all throw it together last minute or just show up and kind of go through the motions. But I want to teach you to avoid doing that and to actually be on purpose with what you do when you show up at a party and are there. Now, what happens prior to this is really important as well, and Kim's going to cover that. I believe it's on Sunday night's call on hostess coaching, and you guys, you definitely want to listen in on that. It is so important that you coach your hostess well so that when you show up to an in-home party, there's actually enough people and it's a successful party for you to be able to manage. So we're assuming that you've coached your hostess well and you're showing up. So I will have an outline. I posted one actually a couple of weeks ago in the files section of Zyia Revolution. So you can look there for my in-home party outline. And I will post another one with just some of the bullet points I'm going to go over as well. Okay? Kenyon, honey, I need you to stop making loud noises or you need to step out of the room, okay? Thank you. Sorry. Okay, so when you are doing an in-home party, number one is get yourself organized prior to the party, prior to the evening of going to the party. So if you are working full-time and you have to rush to a party when you get home and you haven't printed everything out, don't scramble like that. Get ready the night before so that when you come home, you have everything packed and all you have to do is put it in your car. So I just want, that kind of sets the pace and sets the mode for what the party's going to be like. Because if you're feeling stressed and you're running late already, you know, you're feeling frazzled, and that's not where we want you to be when you head into an in-home party. Okay, so number one is get yourself organized prior to showing up. Number two, when you show up early so that you can set everything up and have it completely set up prior to people showing up. Because it's so important that you're set up so that when the first person walks in the door, you need to stay out of the camera, please. You're distracting the people watching, okay? When you walk into the door, you want to be able to greet every single person with a smile and a welcome and feel like you're ready and you're waiting for them to show up, not like, oh, I'm still putting my pens out and I'm still gathering this stuff and feeling, you know, kind of frazzled. I've been there. I've done that before. And I don't like that feeling. The guests don't like that when you're still kind of setting up. So make sure you get there on time or you get there early with the time that you set up. I usually go 45 minutes to a half an hour before the party, just depending on the crowd and what I'm going to be doing. But usually a half an hour is plenty of time for me to unload my stuff, get it all set up, and be ready for everybody. Okay, so these are kind of, you know, precursors, of course. After you have everything set up, you're welcoming everybody, and you are partnering with the host on what she's going to do. Is she going to have everybody come in and grab food first? Is she going to allow you to do your presentation and then serve food? I usually recommend that we get started as quickly as possible. And then after the quick presentation that we do, then that's when everyone visits, grabs food, tries on clothes, and that's more of the social aspect. I prefer to just get my part done quickly so that the party can really begin. Okay, and I really preface it that way for the host so she knows exactly, you know, what to expect. Okay, when people arrive, you've said hello, she's greeted them, maybe she got them a glass of wine or something and said, hey, I'm going to serve refreshments in just a little bit. Then the next thing is you want to give everybody the customer survey, the two-sided customer survey. I don't have one right here to show you. I just realized. But that is on our Zyia Revolution Threads training page, and it's probably in the files on Zyia Revolution, but if not, I'll add it there as well. But that has a 2-page information. So the first page is just information on them, what products they're looking at, and notes that they can take if they want to during your presentation as you're talking about the products. And at the bottom of that one, it's nice because it asks their interest level in hosting an event or in the opportunity. And that's going to be really important in the last part I talk about, which is closing out your guests. Okay, so they're going to fill that out. What I recommend that you do so that you get all of those completely filled out. So they have to have the whole thing filled out on the front side. The back side is for ordering, but the front side. And if they get that completely filled out, then you're going to collect all the ones that are completely filled out right after you're done with the product presentation. And you're going to do a drawing for one person to win free shipping that night. Okay. That way you now have everyone that was there. You have all of their information. Now, if you want to give that back to them, that's fine, you know, to be able to take more notes, but you can hang on to those as well. And that's what I prefer to do, because when you have them all, and people are trying things on and you don't know who's next, you can actually have everybody's names right in front of you. And you can say, oh, you know, the next person, you know, on my list is Sally. So you can get up and go into the kitchen where they're eating or visiting. And you can say, hey, Sally, you know, I'd love to chat with you. Why don't you come in? Tell me what you like tonight. And she can come in and either place an order or chat with you there. Okay. So I like kind of being in control and knowing everybody's names and having those filled out ahead of time so that I am feeling like I'm professional and that I'm doing my job when I'm there. Okay, so you don't have to draw a winner for free shipping, but that's just an idea that I have that I think works great so that you remember to collect those sheets. Okay. All right, then you really, once you've done that, you start your presentation. And our presentation is about 10 to 15 minutes long. If you're going to talk about a lot of the products, it might go 20 minutes long. So what I recommend doing is asking the crowd what they are most interested in. Are they interested in staple workout gear like leggings and sports bras? Are they more interested in athleisure wear items like joggers and long sleeve tees and t-shirts? What are they most interested in? What kinds of activities do they do? Do they do HIIT workouts and CrossFit? Or are they the yoga gals, or they do Pilates? Bar class, something like that. If you can determine whether they're a low impact or high impact workout group or what they're going to be wearing it for, maybe they're just wearing it on walks around, or this is their, everyday athleisure wear. So you're going to talk about different products based on the crowd. If you just go through everything, you're going to bore people. I mean, you might show an item that they're like, oh, I wouldn't have thought to ask about that. But sometimes we can talk too much because we know the products and we can just share too much. So start by thanking your hostess. Okay, you want to thank her for inviting everybody over and, letting them know that they could be anywhere that night, but they chose to be here hanging out with their hostess, Sally, and you're so grateful that everybody, came and is supporting her and supporting you in your new business. Then this is where you want to take some time prior to the going to your in-home events, and you maybe want to write this out. I want you to think of something that you can do to share your story. A 2 to 3 minute story where you can connect with people on a different level. So connect with them emotionally, connect with them personally. See if you can dig deeper here and share a story that would allow bridges to be connected. So let me give you some ideas on some stories that, I don't know what your story is, but you may already know, and you know how to connect with people through your story. It could be a fitness or weight loss journey, and that maybe that's what got you into Zyia. It could be how you've moved up so quickly doing this around a full-time schedule with kids. It could be that you have finally found something that is your own. You're a mom or you work full-time, and this is just like your thing. This is so fun for you, and it's your outlet, something like that. It could be that you're a fitness instructor. You are a CrossFitter. You run Spartan races. You do triathlons, and you just thought, wow, this is such a perfect fit for me. It could be that you needed something new in your life, and you were willing to step out of your comfort zone for the first time in a really long time, and you did this. So I know we've heard Kim's story. She's told a really compelling story. It's really important to share your story. So I usually start with my journey, with my fitness journey. I let people know that I had been in another direct sales company for 17 years, and I just really felt like God was calling me to do something else, but I really didn't know what it was. And in the process of that, I also felt like God was telling me that I needed to get back into a regular workout routine. And you guys might not agree, or understand, that I feel like God was speaking to me about that, but I really did. And I ignored that prompting for a really long time, for several years. And I always thought, well, when I get to a certain point in my company, then I'll get into better shape. And I'm like, that is just such a bad way of thinking. So what I share is that, in the process, I started a fitness journey at about, 5 years after my daughter was born. And I said, you know what, I'm going to get back into shape and feel better about myself. And so I started working out daily. And in the process of doing what I was supposed to be doing, which God had told me 2 years ago, I found this amazing opportunity with Zyia. And I knew immediately that that's what I was supposed to do. And so I stepped down from my leadership role with my other company, and I started this company, and it was the perfect fit from the very beginning. It was like, the Cinderella shoe. So, but I also share that, I was in a place that I was uncomfortable with my body, that I wasn't feeling very good about where I was after having my kids. And I needed to be in a new place. And so now I'm in the best shape of my life. I think that that's, something that people can relate to, that they have been somewhere that they don't want to be. Okay. What I add after this, and you guys can add this regardless of your story, is I encourage people at my in-home parties, or I tell them that there's no body bashing allowed. I just hear it way too often where women think, oh, I don't look like you, or I could never fit into those tights, or, I once was in shape, or whatever it is. They're making fun of themselves, or they're just not being kind to their bodies and, or, how they look. And so I encourage them that night to find something that they look good and feel good in, and to not, bash their own, body parts, or, to think badly about themselves, but to honor where they're at in their life with their health and fitness journey, and just find something that they feel good in at this time. Because we've all been in different places. We've all been in places where we were not comfortable, that, we put on some weight and we felt super uncomfortable with where we were. And we have been in places where we have been in better shape and felt better about where we are. So I just encourage people to do that. And I encourage you guys too, because you probably heard it at your parties where women just are just not kind to themselves. They'll tell their friends, oh my gosh, you look gorgeous in that. Oh, I could never wear that. Or, oh, my butt would look awful in that. I mean, they're just so unkind. So something that I like to add to my parties that I want to encourage you to do as well. Okay. So after you share your story, let me get back on track here. Then you're going to talk about the Zyia, you're going to talk about Zyia a little bit, the company, how it got started. And this is really where my outline begins on the one that I've already posted. Again, it's just a really simple outline. And I encourage you to talk about the 4 pillars just very briefly, even if you just mention the 4. You talk about how the company got started by a mom of 4 out of Utah, and it's really a family-run business. If you have had any experience with them personally, maybe you talk about how sweet they are or how kind they are, and talk about why people are attracted to our business. They are attracted to Zyia for 2 main reasons. Number 1 is because of the quality for the price. It's like shopping Lululemon on sale. And because of our weekly new releases. It is like Christmas every Wednesday. Okay, so those are the 2 things that you want to tell people that draw people to Zyia, is the quality for the price, and that we have new products weekly. And not only does it draw people to us, it keeps people with us. And so that's why we end up getting repeat customers over and over and over. Okay. So, after you've talked about that, I like to mention how shopping works. So I talk about how I'm their personal shopper that night, that I love to outfit people and help people figure out exactly what size to wear, what items are going to fit best for their body shape. I talk about how we're a boutique style, that some sizes are not available all the time. If you see something your size, grab it right away so that it's there. I talk about pre-orders, and if there is something that we end up finding on the website that is one of our staple items that we know is getting restocked, I can pre-order it. So I go through some of the logistics with that. And then I talk about how like shopping and shipping works, so that we have a 30-day return exchange policy, that shipping is fast. It's all priority mail shipped. and it's $350 or $750 depending on their order, unless they buy, you know, a whole new wardrobe, and then it might be $10. And that their orders go directly to them, and you know they're shipped very quickly. And also for me, what I do is if they have to do a return or exchange on their very first purchase, I pay for shipping back on their first return or exchange. So I also let them know that you certainly don't have to do that. And then I also share quickly that we have sizes extra small through triple XL or 0 to 20 for women. And then we have something that would fit every single body shape. Okay. The last thing that I share before I go through the products is I have 3 amazing things to offer you. I have an amazing product, which we're going to talk about, you know, next. I have an opportunity for you to be a host, just like Sally is tonight, where you can earn free rewards. So it's free product and half off. And I have an amazing business opportunity. So I'm happy to share about any of those throughout the night with any of you. And we're going to get started talking about the products. So it's, we have obviously great products, host opportunities, and the business opportunity. So those are the things you're going to share as you go. Okay. Then you're going to share about the product. And again, remember, you have asked everybody what they want to talk about, what they want to learn about, and focus on those items. So if everybody's like, I want leggings, you're going to talk a lot about leggings. You're going to show a lot of them, pass them around so they can touch the fabrics. And that way people, when they touch them, they're like, ooh, there's like ownership in that. So let people touch and feel the products. It depends on what you want to share, what's on your rack. So I'm not really going to go through that. On the outline, I have an idea, like just a very general outline of what you could share. But just to give you an idea, for leggings, make sure you at least mention light and tight, brilliant, and luxe, so that you have those. And you might want to mention the performance leggings as well, because they're different. So mentioning that we have different types of leggings and what they're used for. That we have different support for bras, that we have some that are high support for, you know, more intense workouts, that we have some for medium support, and we do have a couple that are for, you know, just lighter support. For tank tops, I mean, it just is going to vary. You know, you might just hand or show 2 or 3 that you really love. Maybe you show the twist tank or Havana because it's a little bit blousier, and you show one of the more fitted tanks like a copper charged or the performance seamless tank. And then any other seasonal items I would definitely highlight. So highlight your bomber jackets in the summer and the performance, you know, jackets. In the winter, highlight some of your long sleeves and, you know, like the teddy jacket, the cardigan that we got, if you have it on hand. And if you don't, and there's an item that you know is in stock and that you want to highlight, take a picture of it, you know, print a picture out prior to, or have one ready on your computer or your iPhone and show an image of it, because I think our products sell so much better when they're on a body. And so showing images of the products can really make a difference when somebody sees it on someone. Speaking of that, when you go through your products, only highlight products that you know are in stock. Don't talk up a product that you know only has like 4 sizes left. And the only way you're going to know that is if you actually browse the website and take a look prior to each of your in-home parties. You don't want to be talking up the cardigan and then you get on and you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea it was just extra small, large, and extra large left. You know, and there's no smalls and mediums, and everyone at your party is a small and medium. So again, you have to take the time to be able to do that because it's always changing. We all know that. Okay, so the most important part is the last part. That is closing out your guests. So after you have gone through the products, then you say, okay, ladies, it is time for you to browse, shop, try on. Let me be your personal shopper. If you go change, you know, and you try something on, if you're brave enough, would you come out and show everybody? Because other women want to see. And so you want to encourage people to come out and show, okay? Because they're usually beaming. They're usually so excited about how they feel and look in the clothes that they've tried on. Once you feel like, okay, people are trying to, or, you know, they're starting to figure out what they want, or people have told you, I'm ready to place an order, you have those customer surveys and you pull up the person that's sitting in front of you. And there's 2 ways that you can write up orders. You can hand write up an order, and the best place to do that, honestly, is the order forms that come from the company. I know we have the smaller ones on the back of that customer survey, but I prefer this This is what came in your starter kit. I prefer these because it's so much bigger and easier to write on. So you could certainly utilize our forms for that. If there's a large party, I highly recommend having people handwrite their orders, but they have to check out with you so you can confirm sizes are in stock. So they can write it down, and you might not put the order in until you get home after the party, but you have gone in and confirmed that all of those sizes are available. Because if they're not, and you have to call or text someone and say, hey, that size was, out of stock, I would recommend this, but by that time they might just like not want to deal with it. If they're in front of you, you can probably help them find something else that they would like. Or if it's a pre-order item, confirm that they want to do that with you. Okay, so that's the first part, is getting their order in. If it's a smaller party, you could probably work everybody's orders up real time on your laptop, or maybe you have multiple devices going, but I don't usually like people to check out on their own. I want to be a part of that so that I know what they're getting. It helps me remember them better. It helps me to stay connected with them. There's just something about that I really prefer that I talk with every single person as they are checking out. Okay, so you don't end with the sale though. Okay, this is why it's so important to meet with everybody. There's 2 important questions you want to ask, and they're on the bottom of the front of that customer survey. And the first one is, hey girl, I know you obviously love the products. You got, 2 pairs of leggings, a tank top, and a sports bra. We know that you haven't worn them yet, but what do you think about hosting? I think you'd make a great host. Would you like to do an in-home or online event and earn some free stuff? Here's our host rewards. And you just ask the question. Okay, you ask the question whether she is a 2 or a 10 on that survey. Or you might say, hey girl, I see that you're a 2 on this survey. Would hosting an event be something that you'd ever want to do, either in-home or online? And she might go, not right now, but I would love to do it once my daughter is done with her sport. And so you write her name down, but that 2 doesn't mean that she's not interested. It just means that now is bad timing. So you always want to utilize that form to help you. Or if she's like a 7 or an 8, then you might say, hey, it looks like you're interested in hosting an online or in-home event. Which one sounds better to you? Would you rather do online or in-home? Just assume she's going to do it. And then she'll tell you otherwise. Well, I would love to do an in-home, but I need to wait for X, or, could we do it 2 weeks from now? And maybe she's thinking she didn't put a 10 because I can't do it. She can't do it next week. So utilize that form to get parties booked. If you walk away with less sales and more parties booked, more power to you. You want to walk away with from each party with at least 2 or 3 bookings. Okay, that is your focus at a party besides sales. Then the third thing is to look at her customer survey and see how she responded to the business opportunity. If she was a low number, say, hey, I see that maybe the business opportunity isn't for you, but I'm curious, could you ever see yourself doing it? Or could you, do you have any interest at all? So I use that term, I'm curious, a lot because it's very genuine. And oftentimes I really am. I'm curious. Would you ever consider doing this, maybe down the road? And so you just listen to what she says. Now, remember, after you ask a question like, what do you think about hosting? Or would you ever consider doing this? You need to stop talking. That's hard for us to do because we get nervous and those questions are uncomfortable. But you need to just for, even if it's count 5 seconds in your mind, like, hey, what do you think about, learning a little bit more about this business opportunity? Because sometimes they need time to think. So you just have to be quiet. You don't want to put things in her mouth like, maybe you could do it around school. Like, I think you could absolutely do that. And like, you're putting stuff in her. No, let her think about it and then let her respond. And if she doesn't want to do it, say, what, do you know anyone that you think would have any interest in this opportunity? I do a referral gift. I offer a free sports bra or tank top of a $33 or less value if somebody refers somebody to me who ends up joining my team. So if you have a referral gift, you can offer that. And that's a great way to be able to kind of segue that conversation as well. So you've now taken her order, you've asked her about hosting or booked her for an event, and then you have worked on, at least mentioning the opportunity. Okay. So if she's interested in hosting, you're going to open up your date book and have your dates highlighted and book a date. If she's like, oh, I need to go home or I need to ask my friends, just say, what, my date book fills up really fast. Would it be okay if we just penciled something in now? And if you get home and that date doesn't work, we can always switch it. Okay, so can we pencil it in now? If the date doesn't work when you get home, we can always switch it. You want to get something penciled in right away, because that's when she's most excited to host, when she's next to the product, when she's, you know, excited about it. Get that in your date book. With the opportunity, if she's like, yeah, no, I would love to learn more, you're going to text her right then and there that tiny URL. And you're going to say, you know what? I have just a link that's 5 minutes of information. It's like our express version of sharing the business. There's obviously a lot more information, but I'd love to text this to you. You can even, you know, when you're getting ready for bed, you can watch a couple of those videos and read through it. It takes about 5 minutes or less. I would love for you to kind of start to learn that way, but let's talk. Let's maybe connect tomorrow. What time would be good for you? And you set up a time to connect with them again. You also then can add them to opportunity knocks and tag them in any of the videos or posts that you want to there. That's another great way to be able to layer her with more information. Okay, so the bottom line at an in-home party is that you want to be organized, you want to be fairly structured, you want to know what's going on, but more importantly, you want to connect with the people, make them feel important, and then at the end, close them out properly. If you can close people out properly after having them really enjoy their time with you, you are going to have customers that not just buy from you once, but that are going to be repeat customers over and over and over again. And honestly, I can't stress enough how important it is to be a likable, friendly person when you're there. And not everybody has that personality. I know that. I know it's harder for some people because you get really nervous, or you don't have an outgoing personality. But whatever you can do to fake it until you make it, do it. If you've ever seen somebody and you like the way that they act, maybe they're the person that tells jokes and they make everybody laugh. Maybe they're the person that tugs at people's heartstrings. Maybe they're the person that, you know, speaks quietly and is a really good listener. And when they leave, you know, everybody wants to be your best friend. Don't try to be someone else. But if there is somebody that you've seen model the behavior that you like, then see if you can do that, because it probably fits, you know, who you are. Pick someone that has a similar personality. You want to be a likable person so that they want to shop with you, and then they want to come back and, you know, shop over and over again with you and possibly work with you one day. Okay. Whether it's hosting or with the business opportunity. That is all I have. I don't see that there have been any questions. So we are going to end this call. I hope that it was, again, helpful information. If you have questions, you can always reach out to me, and I will be posting the outline for you so that you have all the information that I have shared tonight. So thanks, you guys, for being on and investing in your business, because if you can host or you can hold a really good in-home party, you can make a difference in your business. So I will see you guys on the other side. Bye.